Hey, it's been a little minute since I've been in my romance drama bag. Before we start this video, I would like to say, shout out to folks with the gum. He's really a go for real. So by now, I pretty much watch all the super known drama type movies. I've watched Your Name, Weather With You, A Silent Voice, and now the subject of this video, I want to Eat Your Pancreas. Still crazy when I say it, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the one I heard the least about, and besides me still recovering from that GDS Attack on Titan video, that's probably the reason I've been putting this off for like the last week. But now that I finally watched this, I think as far as story goes and the way that they approach storytelling in this, it's up there with Your Name. And I know that's crazy, but hear me out. Gang, this movie has everything that you want out of one of these movies. It has comedy, heartwarming moments, heartbreaking moments, valuable life perspectives and philosophies, and a crazy amount of symbolism and foreshadowing that I can't wait to talk about. So, pull up a chair, let's chop it up. So, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas was cool, I guess. But before we get into it, as always, make sure you like the subscribe button for more anime analysis and review videos just like this one, and hit the notification bell to know about future posts. Alright, so you know how we do things around here. First we start off with the story. Like I said in the intro, I genuinely think that this story is genius and it can be put up there with the likes of Your Name in my opinion, strictly because of how much the story rewards you for paying attention to it. Our story follows an antisocial boy named Haruki, who's pretty much like lived his entire life in his own bubble, not letting anybody in while never stepping out to really interact with people. One day he's in this hospital, he picks up this book titled Living with Dying, and he reads the first page, and it's from this perspective of someone with an illness. This girl from his class named Sakura reveals that it's hers and just straight out said that she's gonna die soon. Him not being a people person, he just didn't think that much of it and just went about his business, just moving on. He was like, okay, here's your book back.
Well, damn.
After a bit of perseverance though, and a bit of like kind of forcing them, she eventually gets him to hang out with her. And throughout the movie, they essentially grow closer together and hang out until she eventually meets her demise, which is crazy. It's a setup. I'm telling y'all now, this movie is a setup. If you can't tell already, this movie can get pretty emotional. There are several moments in this movie that I almost got my goofy ass, so let's run through some. There are several examples of this throughout the movie, but every time they talk about her eventual death or acknowledge her illness in a comical way, it's pretty rough. It starts off funny as hell, and then you get that weight of the situation, and you start thinking about the possibility that like she's acting like this to cover up her fear of death. And that haha immediately turns into damn, gang. Like, it's really crazy. And it makes it even worse when she does it after they reveal that that's actually the case. It makes it 10 times worse. Speaking of them revealing that, the hotel room scene was pretty rough. For two reasons. First, this is where Sakura really showed how she felt about dying, and it showed Haruki going through her bag and finding all those syringes and pills and shit. And second, this is where Haruki really started to show interest in her and learn more about her. In the Truth or Dare game they was playing, every time she picked truth, he asked a bunch of deep ass questions about her out of genuine curiosity. And besides their experiences together, this is where he learned most about her as a person. It's honestly hard to watch this change the heart because of the inevitable that's about to happen. There are several instances of this as well, but you can kind of see Sakura pry at the idea of wanting a relationship with Haruki, and you always see Haruki trying to change the subject or just brush it off when you know, like, if the circumstances were different, he probably would be in a relationship with her and it probably would go differently. That's a really rough situation for both sides. Haruki has never had a friend before or a girlfriend. Making her both and then losing her is an awful reality to face, so I think he's trying to avoid that. And on top of that, her best friend hates the nigga, and her ex literally minked this nigga for coming to her house. So I would, I don't blame him. And for Sakura, being loved by the only person that brings her some sense of normalcy and peace of mind while she's going through this is pretty natural. But knowing that you won't be here that long will probably make you make the idea of you being selfish just go into your head. So it's probably an internal conflict going on while all this is going on. Now let's talk about the ending sequence. Man, the ending sequence was sad as hell, but it was fire. This is where all the symbolism and foreshadowing come in perfectly. First off, on the way to that cafe, he meets the GOAT one more time. And yeah, you know I'm talking about my nigga, folks with the gum. And this time, Haruki actually wanted a piece. I think this is really cool. This is a super cool way to show how much Haruki has evolved as a person and how much Sakura has helped him change. Him sending her that last text was a pretty cool moment too, I ain't gonna lie. This is where the setup started sinking in though, because he changed the text and I was like, Hey gang, don't do what I think you about to do.
Don't change it to I want to eat your pancreas. Ah, god damn. Come on, folks.
And he did it, bro. I always wondered before watching this why they chose the name for the movie like this. Cause you know, I want to eat your pancreas is kind of weird.
The last text was I want to eat your pancreas, folks.
But I get it now. That line means so much in this movie. Not only does it refer to the article that Sakura was reading about, eating parts that you want healed, but it's also a symbol of their relationship and their way of saying they aspire to be like each other, which is a beautiful way to do it. But this sweet little moment did not last very long. And you know, that setup had to come back. Finding out that Sakura died was rough, man. And it almost got me, gang. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely had that little feeling in my chest. Some tears wanted to come out, but I did not let them out, you feel me? It's worse finding out how she died too. Her getting stabbed was definitely not on the bingo card, even after they was talking about like the stabbings that happened early on in the movie. It was not on the bingo card. And finding out that her time got cut even shorter was sad as shit. It also didn't help seeing his reaction to it. It got really heartbreaking when he visited her house and got her journal from her mother. Leaving that little Prince book by her picture was sad as hell. Man, that farewell note, man. I already seen that one farewell note from Plastic Memories, man. I'm still not recovering from that all the way, but man, this one was rough too. The execution was beautiful though, man. This is where we found out why they never use each other's names too. Throughout the movie, I was wondering why they haven't said his name yet, and I'm just thinking like, yo, who is this nigga? When he actually told it to her, they didn't actually tell us what his name was. Turns out, he never called Sakura by name either. He used him not calling Sakura by name as a defensive mechanism. It was a way to not let her in, a way to avoid getting hurt. And she did the same thing to him in retaliation. And to end off the note, she uses the phrase, I want to eat your pancreas, for like, yeah, that shit was beautiful, man. And bro, him asking her mother if it's okay to cry was just rough. Like, this whole scene was beautiful, but man, it was really hard to watch. But I love how they did it. And I love how Haruki expected her and her mom's wishes. Now, I'm not gonna lie, after Kyoko has literally hated this nigga and even threatened to kill him throughout the story a couple times, they finally have a conversation and it doesn't end well. She storms out the cafe, but he chases after her. He asks her to forgive him, and actually he asks her if they could be friends one day. Then fast forward to reveal them both sitting at Sakura's gravesite a year later, and they also revealed that Kyoko and folks with the gum are dating after she threw Haruki a piece of gum. Shouts out to folks with the gum, folks. Shouts out to my nigga, folks. And they're on the way to Sakura's house to have dinner with their mom, because that was one of her mom's wishes, which is really cool. The conclusion was so fire to me because that was really Sakura's dying wish. She wanted him and Kyoko to get along, and he made sure that they did, even after all that bullshit she was on with him. I love the story overall in this movie. It was really rewarding and engaging. I have nothing but good things to say about it. Now, move on to characters and character interactions. Although this movie only had like 6 characters, I'm not gonna lie, it did everything it needed to do plus more through these 6 characters. Let's run through a few of them. Haruki is a really good and relatable character. My nigga had it tough, bro. And honestly speaking, after Sakura's death, it probably would have took me longer than a year to recover from that shit. He could have easily looked at this situation in a different way too, because although her company and hanging out with her was very enjoyable, it seemed to bring him a lot of unnecessary drama with her best friend and her weird-ass ex-boyfriend. But he stayed solid that whole time, and it was really cool to see him grow as a person. He had a really relatable philosophy on people in the beginning too. He was telling Sakura that he was cool with letting his friendships and his relationships start and end in his head as long as he doesn't get hurt. And I feel him to a certain degree. Although pain is part of life, you can tell that pain through people was something that he thought that was like completely optional until he met Sakura. Sakura really changed his perspective on things. And it was through her death that he learned that he should live like her and have those relationships and interact with people to the fullest extent, because unfortunately she didn't have the time to. I'm pretty sure he would rather learn this lesson in a different way with Sakura still being here, but I bet he's thankful for the memories of her too and the lessons that he taught him. I like Haruki's character a lot, and watching him develop was almost like looking in the mirror of some sort. It was pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie. Sakura was a really strong character too, because you can only imagine what life was like for her. Acting like you're okay and fully happy when you're about to die gotta be some of the most difficult shit to deal with. And I couldn't imagine like my brain during that time. And it's not to that extent, but I could definitely vibe with her. You know all those memes about the funny friend after the squad get offline, it's just Spider-Man just sitting in the rain looking sad as hell? That's damn near me for real. I ain't even gonna lie. Putting on the front when something is wrong is it's like super unhealthy. But it seems necessary because you might be looked at as a light to other people. So you feel like you have to keep that up for them. That's kind of how Sakura was in this movie. She was the carefree, always smiling, always vocal and standing up for what she thinks is right person. And that's probably why she kind of took refuge in the front like Haruki, because he didn't treat her any different even after learning her condition. She probably had times when she wanted to completely fall apart, and I don't blame her, gang. She met a real untimely end, and she deserved way better, but I'm glad she still lives on through Haruki, and I'm glad about how much impact she had on him. Their relationship was beautiful. Look, I understand Kyoko is her best friend and she's very protective of her. She understands that she loves hard and all that shit. But I'm not gonna lie, Kyoko is a pretty shitty person this whole movie. She constantly just straight up bullied Haruki for no reason. I can see if Haruki like clearly gave her a reason to treat him like shit, but folks were just cooling the entire time. Kyoko didn't have a reason to hate and dick rat that much, just being honest. She was super irrational, and honestly, shout out to Haruki for being understanding through all that. Now understand that she was grieving and stuff, especially at the end when he showed her the books. She tried to make him look like the bad guy, and even after, he still wanted to become friends with her just because of Sakura's wishes. Once again, shout out to folks with the gum, folks. He really wanted the homies, so shout out to my boy. Now, move on to looks, presentation, and music. This movie was pretty beautiful, gang. I'm not gonna lie. There are a few scenes that almost got me. It almost got me. The fireworks scene was pretty gorgeously animated. And a little scene of Sakura when Haruki was reading her goodbye letter was beautiful as well. That almost got me too. The music was great too. They did the thing where they play like this beautiful ass song that goes with the story and the lyrics and stuff in the top right or the top left corner. And the lyrics actually go along with the story too. I loved it immediately. Got all those songs in the Arigato playlist, link down in the description. They was still playing that damn piano too, man. They didn't cut that shit out, boy. Niggas trying to make me cry out here for, and that's not happening. Move around that shit.
Stop with this damn piano, man. Shit.
One thing that I appreciate a lot in this movie is its use of silence. And there's a lot of moments in this movie that hit a lot harder because it's just the character speaking with dead silence in the background. No music, no ambience, nothing, just them. In some ways, it kind of makes me pay attention more, and it kind of makes like the dialogue and what they're saying actually hit 10 times harder. I'm not saying the piano tracks in the background like bad or anything. It's just something that I observed. Shout out to all the animators and musicians that worked on this film, man. Overall, I think that I Want to Eat Your Pancreas turned out to be a good watch. It's one of those movies that'll make you look at life a little bit different. It's one of those movies that make you appreciate life more and try to live it up more every single day. And it's one of those movies that make you want to love on people close to you more because it teaches you the value of life. It teaches you how unexpected death can come, but it also teaches you how much love matters right now. If you haven't watched it, I'll definitely say give it a chance. If you like Your Name, and if you like What's Wrong With You, if you like A Silent Voice, I think you will love this movie. It's definitely one of them ones. If you haven't watched this yet, please give this a chance. It just teaches you valuable lessons about life through these really good ass characters, and with some really it's some sad shit, some happy shit, some shit for you to laugh at, some shit for you to cry at. Like it's a really good movie that give you a bunch of emotions that are really necessary for you to feel sometimes. That's all for me, man. As always, man, I hope y'all have a great day, man. Love y'all, man. Peace. And montage time.
Hey, I like this nigga for 3 seconds in. We talk about death already. Cool. Somebody died already. Nice. Happy start. So, should have beat up a woman like that for broad daylight. Somebody got a cast star. Oh shit! With the cast star was about to stand on business. Gee.
If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. I've done this for 40 shows now. So if you want any other videos like this, you can click right here at the top. There's a full playlist right there for you. Have a great day, man. Love y'all.